Good morning, everyone. Our topic is when growth stall, understand cause and prevention. Then the members are Anusha Mahato, Ankita Das, Rahul Kumar, Adyasha Mohanty, Vipul Kumar Singh, and Lokesh Tanti.
So now coming to the introduction first, growth are basically common but yet dangerous phase in company's life cycle. Wherever even the successful firms suddenly experience a slow growth and slowdown, and often without a clearly early warning signs, making them difficult to detect and respond to. If to address quickly, this temporary decline can, turn down into a permanent loss of market position. And research shows that most of the companies face at least one such stalls, with the key insight being that root cause that such a poor strategic decision, lack of innovation, operational inefficiencies. Like we have the perfect example, which is Nokia, who was once a global leader in mobile phone, but failed to adapt the smartphone revolution due to internal resistance. And now coming to the next slide. So basically, what is growth stall? A growth stall refers to the sustained decline in company's uh, revenue growth rate, meaning it's not just a short-term fluctuation, but a long-term slowdown that signals the deeper issues within the business. It is typically occurs after a period of short performance when the company actually appears stable or everything is thriving, which makes the sudden nature of the slowdown and more surprising and harder to anticipate, and there are often no gradual warnings or visible decline beforehand. For example, there is a BlackBerry Limited experience. Basically, it experienced a rapid success in the mobile market, but then faced a sharp and lasting drop in the revenue growth when it failed to keep up with the changing consumer preferences, innovation trend, demonstrating how quickly a growth spiral can be, emerge even when a peak performance. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Okay, now I will present the key research finding. A study of more than 500 global companies shows that growth stalls are very common. Around 87% of companies experience growth stall at same point. But the surprising part is that recovery is very difficult, and only 46% of companies were able to recover within 10 years, and only 7% recover after a long delay. So this shows that once growth shows down, it becomes very hard for companies to bounce. The next is the four major causes of growth stall. First is the premium position backfire, which is like when companies become overconfident because of their strong brand. The next is innovation management breakdown. Here companies fall to focus on big innovation and only make small improvement. Third is premature core business abandonment. When companies fail to focus on big innovation and when companies leave their main business too early and shift to unrelated areas. And fourth is weak talent bench, when companies lack skilled leaders and fresh ideas. All this cause an internal and controllable, which means companies can avoid them with the right strategies. So overall growth stalls are not just external problem but mostly internal mistakes that companies can control and improve. The next.
So this is the slide which will be taken by me. So cause one, which talks about the premium position backfires. So what are the things that backfires? So this happens when a company becomes too independent on its premium and brand image and past success, and they basically fails to adapt the market changes. In simple words, we see that uh, if we are successful because that's why we don't want to change, and this mindset leads to the failure. And why it happens? So due to the overconfidence from past success, ignoring low cost competitors, and the also failure to understand changing customer needs. And if we see the examples, so which is mentioned that Levi Strauss ignored it. Levi Strauss, it is all about which had a strong premium jeans brand, and they ignored the low cost brands designer jeans trend, which results in the market share dropped significantly and growth stalled. Next slide. So there is the cost too. So the cost too talks about, if we see about the first one is the failure thing. So what happens that if we see that the failure part always happens due to some of the negligence, as we know. So there are some, what it happens that too much focus on small improvements. Why it happens? So first is too much focus on small improvements. It means that minor product changes, no big for breakthrough ideas. And second, if we see that there is a lack of breakthrough innovations in which there is no future focused products, company became outdated, and poor research and development management, R&D management. So in this there is a budget misallocation, decentralized decision making without control. So if we see the example of case 3M shifted R&D focus to small product development, and they basically what they did that they ignored the big innovations. So the result that growth dropped from 17% to 1%. Thank you. That's all from my side.
So now I would like to explain about the third cause, which is the core business abandonment. And as this slide explains, the core business abandonment, which actually means many companies make mistakes of assuming that their core market is saturated, meaning they believe there is no more growth possible in their existing business. Because of this assumption, they shift focus to unrelated areas too early instead of strengthening what they already do best. And in this process, they ignore the potential in their existing business, which still has opportunities for growth. So the example here is RCA moved away from electronics, which missed technology revolution, as it was originally strong in the electronics industry, but it moved away from its core business. As a result, it missed a very big opportunity from the technology revolution, which could have been a huge opportunity for their growth. So the symptoms here are, the first one is diversification into unrelated areas where companies enter industries they don't fully understand. Second, calling the core business mature, which often becomes an excuse to stop investing in it. And third is weak focus on core customers, meaning companies stop understanding and serving their main customer base. So next slide, please. So I would like to talk about the cause for weak talent bench. So as companies do not have a strong talent pipeline, they also lack of capable leaders for future growth. Weak leadership affects long-term performance. So the main issues here are the lack of skilled leaders and capabilities, over reliance on internal promotions, lack of new ideas and perspectives. So the example which lies that Hitachi, which has lacked diverse leadership, faced decline due to limited innovation and fresh thinking. So it created symptoms like limited experience in leadership, lack of innovation mindset, skill gap in key areas. So this cause into companies need diverse, skilled, and forward thinking, and leaders should sustain growth. So thank you.
Why companies fail? This slide explains the main reasons why companies fail or face growth stalls. First, companies become overconfident due to past success and rely too much on their premium brand, ignoring market changes. Second, there is a failure in innovation management where companies focus only on small improvements and lack breakthrough ideas. Third, companies abandon their core businesses too early, assuming it has no future and shift to unrelated areas. Finally, a weak talent bench leads to lack of skilled leadership and fresh perspectives. Next slide, please. Now, how to prevent growth stalls? To prevent growth stalls, companies need to stay proactive and adaptable. They should regularly question and test their assumptions instead of relying on past success. Encouraging fresh perspectives, especially from younger employees, helps in bringing innovation. Companies should also plan for the future by analyzing different scenarios, taking advice from external experts, and continuously monitoring competitors and customer behavior is important. Overall, continuous strategy evaluation is the key to long term success. Thank you.
Coming to the conclusion part, to conclude our presentation, the most important takeaway is that while growth stalls are common, they are completely preventable. Our research shows that most causes like overconfidence or losing focus on the core business are within the management's control. The difference between a company that collapses and one that survives in early detection by identifying wrong early and maintaining a protective strategies. A company can navigate through a stall. Ultimately, to stay competitive, companies must remain flexible and adaptive to ever changing market. Next slide, please. I want to leave you with the final thoughts. Success can become the biggest reason for failure if companies stop evolving. Often the very strategies that made us successful in the past can make us rigid and blind to the future. To avoid a growth stall, we must never stop questioning our assumption and we must never stop evolving. Thank you so much everyone.